Okay, I'm recording. I got everybody here. Just working through some glitches with some people. Thank you for coming. For those of you who aren't here, I want you to know I went to Brooklyn Bagel this morning and I got good bagels, okay?
Thank you.
I got the best bagels in New Jersey, people. And now I smell like Brooklyn Bagel, unfortunately. So that's the only problem with going to Brooklyn Bagel. When you walk out, you smell like it.
Where's Brooklyn Bagel?
Are you in this area?
They're on by Randolph Diner, behind Randolph
Oh,
Diner.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Behind Randolph Diner.
I don't.
Best bagels, best people.
I don't need bagels.
My daughter was stuck in Barbados
No.
because the plane was canceled while they were in the airport with no reason why. For like 8 hours they were stuck there.
Oh
So
my God.
she just got home late last night.
There's been a lot of, there's been a lot of overbooking.
Yes,
Yeah.
but this one, no, they actually saw them taking suitcases out of the bottom.
Did they really?
Yeah, so
Oh my
they knew there
God.
was a problem.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, nice. For your cruise. All right.
And then we'll get on the ship there.
Let me get
I
you
don't want to hear any
guys.
more medical stories. Miss Carol.
Yeah, yeah. Will Carol be in the newspaper when she gets back from her cruise or not? We're gonna take bets. We're gonna take bets.
That's the only publicity I
All
can get.
right, get you guys going here. Okay, good morning for real this time. So before I get started, I just want to thank everyone for your support. You know, last week I mentioned to you that Jim Sillence's family was, you know, going through a tough time. Two of his mother-in-law and his wife were both diagnosed with cancer in the same week, basically, and just trying to navigate that. And everybody stepped up. I saw him yesterday. He seemed in really good spirits. And so, you know, just to give you an idea of what people are doing, you know, Mark Hetrick is mowing his lawn for the next month and a half. You know, just to give you an idea of what type of community we have here and what type of environment and culture. It's just unbelievable how people have stepped up. So thanks, everybody. What we were thinking of doing is, you know how Carol collects here for the food pantry. We have a lot of food here on our counter. And what we were thinking of is doing a big collection. And I'll announce a date that we'll have it all in by, and then we will give that to Jim. And Jim can take what he needs, and then he can bring it, since he works at the food pantry, he can bring whatever else there. So we thought that would be a nice idea too. So just an idea. I will put more information out about that, but I thought that was a great idea since we do have a lot of food here, and that can help him out and help the food pantry out all at once. So thank you again. Another not so happy announcement I just want to share, just so you guys are aware. I spoke to Mary Frances this morning. A lot of you know that she hasn't been in the last few weeks, and she, you know, asked me to share this because she knows that you know, a lot of people care about her here. So she's been going through some in and out of hospital with pneumonia, and she was finally diagnosed with a blood cancer this week. She just found out yesterday. She
Oh my
said
God.
that everything, it looks positive. She seems very positive, but she does start chemo right away tomorrow. They've already put the cord in. She's starting chemo. She's about 6 to 8 weeks of treatment. So during that time, we're going to put her into referral just so she can concentrate on herself and not have to worry about anything during that time. And she did ask, and I have to tell you this about her. If you don't know her, if you haven't met her, if you haven't got to know her, she is very quiet when you first get to meet her. And you may take that as standoffish or, you know, in a different way, but she is the biggest sweetheart you'll ever meet. And she's always giving. So like when we did our toy drive, she came in with like a bag full of toys, and she said, I had a very good upbringing. I want to make sure someone else has it. And that's the way she lives her life. So I just want to, you know, let you know that. Jim Sillens, she's never met Jim. She's new in the business, you know, called me right away. What can I do? What can we send? You know, and to send something to her. But she did ask that, she said her and her husband are really fine, and she really does not want anything. So she did say, you know, to pass that on. So I'm going to pass that on. Obviously, cards and well wishes and all that is always welcome. And I did send her a fruit basket 2 weeks ago from the office, just when she was started going through all of this, to make sure that she knew we were thinking about her. And so she did truly appreciate that as well. So again, a lot of stuff going on, this world is crazy enough, but just wanted to share that with you so you have an idea of, what if you haven't seen her, if you want to reach out to her. Yes, Nance?
Could you share her address, please?
Yes, I will share her address with everyone so that you can send her a note or a card or.
I'm gonna bring in some.
Thank you.
And we'll leave them on the counter, and not just for her, but for everybody, that we can all sign, and we'll get in and sign it. We'll leave it for a couple days and then we'll send it to.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Thank you. Missy,
Sure. Yes,
I missed who you were talking about.
Mary Frances.
Okay.
Yeah. So Carol had also suggested that she's going to bring in some get well cards, leave them on the kitchen counter. When you come in, just sign them so that we have a card from everybody that we could send it. Okay. So stop by and sign a card. And so we have that. So she's going to leave multiple ones there. So we just have them also for the future. So everybody count your blessings is what I need to say to you right now, because we get caught up in things sometimes and we really have to be thankful. So we'll get started now, unless anyone has any questions. So my motivational moment for today, you have to force yourself to get up early. You have to take care of your responsibilities. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to evaluate your priorities. Nobody's going to do it for you. These are your goals and your dreams. Everything you want starts and ends with you. So it's all about you. Every choice that you make, whether it's to sleep a half hour later or to eat those French fries. I did that last week and it was very bad. I paid the next day. Okay. But all those choices are choices we make, right? Nobody forces us to make these choices. And the same thing with your business. So think about it with your personal life, with your faith, with your business. Everything you do starts and ends with you. Okay. So just wanted to share that with you this morning. The 21st annual charity outing is next Thursday already. I can't believe how quickly August 19th has come about. So they're hoping to achieve $150,000 this year. We are going to use, I think this year, since we found out late that they were doing it, I think it was within the last month that they decided to continue on with it. We're going to use the money, I think, from our Sunshine Club and donate that. So if anybody wants to make a donation, you can send it, you can give it to Savannah. She can hand it in, just let her know. And if anybody wants to be a part of it, I have a schedule of what is going on next week. They have a lot of great stuff. There's golfing, there's day as a member, there's paint and sip. So they have a lot of nice little venues, and that includes a luncheon, and that includes a dinner, also the banquet dinner at night. So the Weichert 2021 celebration. I know this is typically for the franchise offices, but they are extending it to everyone just because of the fact, I guess, that for the past few years, or last year and a half, we haven't really done anything as a company. So if anybody's interested in that, it's a 3-day event for $4.99, and then your hotel and your airfare. I can give you more information on it. These are going to be some of the guest speakers. I don't know if you guys can see it. We can't because our face isn't in the way. There we go. And then just a reminder, also, if you work with a mortgage advisor that you think is really great and think might want an opportunity with Weichert, if you refer someone, they're giving out $2,500 for referrals for mortgage advisors for Weichert Financial. So keep that in mind. If there's someone you work with, maybe they tell you they're not happy, maybe you just want to see if it's an opportunity that they'd be willing to take advantage of. So here's all the information here, and I'll be sending the slides out afterwards. So we do it all guaranteed, $5,000 closing date guaranteed, plus the additional $500 for a credit, right, on your mortgage statement or mortgage closing statement, home warranty for your client, and $50 Amazon gift card if they use Weichert Financial. They use Wyker title, and they just get a quote from Wyker Insurance. They don't have to actually use their services, but get a quote. They're entitled to that. And so I want to congratulate you guys because we are number one in our region. We have 16 people who have signed up for to take advantage of this, which is amazing. If you can see, the next number is 8. So, and everybody else is either half below us.
Sign up for it, or does it automatically happen?
No, they have to sign up for it. Yep, or you could sign up on their behalf. On that, it's wyker.com/we do it all. You go in and it's just a really quick, ask for their name, their email address, their phone number, and then the agent that they're working with. Yeah, so that's what it does. And it explains the whole process and the whole procedure to them too. So it has everything there. So you can sign them up as Carla mentioned last week, or they can go on and sign up. And of course, Anthony is very proactive in making sure everybody is on top of that. So congrats, that's a great number. One of the agents did an open house 2 weeks ago and told me that more people were interested in this program than they were in the house that she was sitting at. So people really are interested in this. This is creating a lot of chitter chatter and verbiage and dialogue. Yes, Tabitha. Okay.
To get it.
Cause I wanna know, I wanna know what those, I wanna know who those 16 are. I wanna know. I mean, like,
Okay.
from our office, it's like, I don't need to know the name. I just wanna know because I've had people sign up, but what if I had people sign up that haven't told me that they've signed up?
Well, it says they
So-
have to be the agent, right?
Well, it asks for the agent, but what if they, I'm pushing this out in my TV court. What if they sign up and I'm not noticed? I don't know they signed up.
Well, do they sign up, once they're under contract or once?
No, they said, well, they can sign up at any time. They can sign up at any
You
time
understand what I'm
before they're
saying?
just
So
starting.
if-
Anthony has a list. Anthony gets notified when someone signs up.
Yeah, but
So ask Anthony, and then that's a good question. Does the agent get notified too? I know that Carlos spoke about it last week. I don't remember the answer to that. Oh, there we go.
excuse me?
He wasn't sure if you got notified.
I don't.
The
I
MA
thought-
gets,
Listen, I'm
the
sorry,
MA does,
listen,
the MA
I've had
gets it.
2 people do it and sign up. I didn't get a notification, but I know that they've done it. So, but what if someone signed up that I'm working with that I'm not aware? I want to be able to follow up and engage.
Oh, 100%,
That's my
100%.
point.
Yeah, absolutely. You should know. You should be notified.
Is
Absolutely.
this something that should be done in an open house when people express interest?
Yes,
so that
yes.
I have the flyer and
You
everything.
sign
Yeah.
up right there?
So this
You
is,
could, if you
Yeah,
want to,
maybe
like,
that's-
if you want to, like,
oh, you could do it right. Yes, it's
Yeah,
very
like,
easy
yeah,
to
you
do.
would-
If they don't
right
use
there.
it, they don't use it, but then at least you know, you,
Because they then get notification once you do. They get an email.
right,
About
but then at least you know. that
Yes.
they're in here.
Yes, right. That's a good idea. That's
Yeah.
why Carlo was suggesting it. So last week, Carlo's meeting, if you did not attend, or if you want a refresher, it's right here. So again, I'm sending it out in the meeting slides. You just click on that arrow and it will bring you to the video from last week, the recording. So we do have it here. Huh?
Don't get lost in the weeds.
Don't get lost in the weeds. No, don't get lost in the weeds when you're looking for that video, for sure. There was a lot of interesting things that came out of last week if you watched. But yeah, so last week we did have the meeting was specifically on this. And so there was a recording if anybody wants to see it. So there was a lot of information there. So you can email signature, right? Those were sent out a few weeks ago. Email signatures, you notice I changed my email signature to it. Again, just to keep people, to get those people asking you questions, right? So email signatures, the backgrounds, which I always have on, I just took mine off or else you would not be able to see me if I moved, from in front of my screen. And then here we have the tent cards, right? So we have them right here on the countertop. Take as many as you want, put them out at your open houses, put them out at your listings, put them out wherever you want, get them everywhere. We also have open house lawn signs. So if you can see, I put some out there in front of where people stop for the Starbucks line, just to get some attraction there. But these are for you guys to take and put them in front of your houses, put them at your open houses. Again, whatever you want to do, we have those open house lawn signs there. We ordered some more as well. And then if you wanted a retractable banner, that's something that you would order. We don't have those everything else we do. Okay, so really promote this. This isn't something that's just here for the month. I think they really want it to take off. So the better that we do, the more engagement we get, the longer it will last for our clients. And then here's a dialogue, start the conversation with everyone. Have you heard about Wickert to be doing all $5,000 closing guarantee? No, well, it's an incentive program. We are offering our customers to take advantage of working with our associates and our mortgage insurance and closing companies. It includes a $500 credit towards your mortgage, a free home warranty worth about $500, and just for getting an insurance quote, you receive a $50 gift card. Because we have everything in-house, we guarantee your closing dates, so you don't have to worry about delays. If we don't hit the date in your contract, you'll receive $5,000. So, nice dialogue to give people a call if you haven't spoke to them, or if you're at an open house. On that video you'll see with Carlo, he was at an open house and he was videotaping himself. All we saw is his hand moving a lot. But we did hear his voice, and people were very interested in this $5,000 guarantee. So Joel,
Okay.
I'm going to introduce you now. So Joel First is here with us.
Or should I stand up here?
You can stand right up here, like
All right.
stand
Sure.
about where I am or wherever my computer is.
Anyway, I'm Joel First, real estate attorney, and been practicing since 1983. One big advantage I have as against a lot of attorneys is I ran a mortgage company for 30 years. So I have a real good background in mortgages, and as you know, it's a big part of the transaction, on the purchase side especially. So I've been practicing since 1983. I've been acting as a real estate attorney for about 10 years. Represent buyers and sellers all across New Jersey, but primarily I have two offices. The business cards I have, I grabbed the Saddlebrook ones, but I'm also in Roseland and do a lot in this area as well. Do business with other Whitecroft offices as well. And basically, just to be brief, I take the contract all the way from review of the contract all the way to closing. And if you're familiar, which I'm sure you are, with the way the process works, first you have an attorney review process on a purchase where I would send a letter to the other attorney, which looks to tighten up the contract in my client's favor. And then they respond, you negotiate that out. And the next step would be, the buyer getting an inspection of the property. And after that, I encourage them to apply for the mortgage if they're getting a mortgage as early as possible, because it is taking quite a while to get a mortgage of late. And so they obtain the mortgage, we order title. I am the only, I guess Democracy Title is your company, right?
No, Wickert Title
Just
uses?
Wickert Title, right?
Yes,
I didn't
yes.
know if Democracy was part of.
I know they use different settlement companies sometimes if they
Oh,
get busy,
okay.
but yeah.
That's their brand X title company.
So I do deal with Wickert Title, and most of my business does come from realtors around the state, and I sometimes even get leads because I get a lot of business also from the web, and I will be asked sometimes for a realtor, and I'll be glad to refer some of you guys out for those particular clients. So in any case, my fee is more reasonable than some other attorneys. I charge $1,100 for a purchase and $1,000 for a sale. The big difference with me is I'm really accessible all the time, nights, weekends. I was just away last week, but I was busy most of the week taking calls. Try to stay on top of the deals, and I also notify you all along the way. A lot of attorneys sometimes forget to put the realtors in the communication. That's a big thing of mine. I believe that's so important. So that's really what I do. I handle all kinds of transactions, pre-foreclosures, short sales, even co-ops. I don't think you run into many co-ops at all.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, once in a while.
Yeah, Fort Lee or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
There's one more.
There is one in Morristown?
And one in Dover.
Oh,
There's another
interesting.
one in Dover, yeah.
We'll see maybe the Morristown one.
Oh, really? Every now and then. But most of my business is, pure vanilla purchases and sales. There have been a lot of issues lately. There's on the sales side, there's a lot of above asking. Sometimes a lot of times the properties aren't appraising, so I've got to deal with those issues. And there's just a lot of time constraints, as you know. And, you know, you do the best you can to meet those.
I assume you have a good paralegal
I
that
do.
helps you.
I have an excellent, although I like to really be in contact with most of the clients myself, but I have a paralegal doing it for 37 years. He's really excellent, really, really excellent. And yes, that's important. Does anyone else have any other questions at all?
Anybody have any questions on Zoom or
Yeah.
any attorney questions in general that you're dealing with right now?
I have a question.
And also, I have this here for you guys.
Do the attorneys have any problem with getting the 10% money in upfront? Because the way the contracts are now, it's after the attorney review, like in 10 days.
Yeah,
And sometimes I know the real estate agents aren't following up as fast, but are you following up with that too to make sure that money is brought in?
yeah, I do follow up, and even up front, I put deadlines, and that's one of the deadlines.
Right.
But yeah, sometimes you have a problem, you know, getting the deposits. But I'm, you know, I'm over it on top of it. It's possible.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories about that.
Yeah,
People holding up back their deposits.
They want to hold it up until they have their
I-
inspection.
until they have the
And that's not
inspection.
right.
What are you seeing? 10%? I see 5%, 10, sometimes higher. But
It always used to be 10, now it's whatever they want. to put
Whatever.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no standard anymore.
yeah, there's no standard.
Yeah.
I had one recently. It was the weirdest thing. It was a $900,000 deal, and believe it or not, the client put down $400,000, which I dissuaded him from doing. You know, but they were extremely familiar with the property, and they, you know, the deal closed. But I see a lot of times less than 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
lately it's been more.
Yeah, yeah. The 10 is the deal.
I'm gonna bring something up while Joel's here, because it's actually on my office update slide today. And so maybe he can add something to it. But what I've seen in the last 2 months, and I spoke to a few of you about it, from agents in our office, is that sellers are holding on to the deposit when the buyer wants to back out. So you have to be aware, and you have to let your client know now. Remember in the past, you probably said, I know I had said in the past, I've never seen a deposit being held, don't worry about it. Well, do not say that anymore, because in 4 cases in our office specifically, the sellers have held the deposit money. So there was a few things that I did not know were to be true. So my perception of what would happen is the only way the seller can hold the deposit money is if they kept their home off the market, right? Until litigation occurred. And then once they did that, then they can do whatever they want. So most sellers say, forget it. I don't want to waste my time, but that's not true. So what's happened is, I'll name 2 cases that has happened recently. One was due to home inspection. So one was a home inspection. It was, you know, something in a backyard. It was a lot of work that needed to be done. The client came in at like $60,000 in credits, right? They wanted a $60,000 credit to buyer, and the seller said absolutely not. And because it was egregious, and they didn't have actual proof, you know, they didn't get actual invoices from someone. This is what they said they wanted. And I think when people get to that point, when they ask for a lot of money like that, I think most of the time they want to get out of it, right? So that's how they do it. Like, I have the home inspection contingency, and you know, and that's how I'm going to get out, so I can get my deposit money back. Well, these sellers, so the seller's attorney said, okay, I'll have them sign it, and then came back and said, sorry, I misspoke. My sellers do not want to sign it. And so unless I can get an agreement from my sellers or a court order, I cannot release that money. And so they then put their home on the market, and but back on the market, and based on if they got less money now because that house was taken off the market, then they could take that deposit money to make up the difference. And that has happened in 4 cases right now. So it's going through. It's going through. Some had sold for the same price, so it didn't make a difference. But then there's still damages. And so for the only way that buyer can get their deposit money back is for them to hire an attorney and go into litigation. They need a court order saying you can release that money. So I just want to make sure that we're all understanding what is going on, because if I've seen it 4 times in the last month or so, then this is the new way, right? This is what we're going to see more and more and more of.
It's when the buyer backs out.
Right.
usually.
For a
The buyer
reason
backs
that they're
out.
not able to back out. You know, I just had one recently, and the client said, you know, after the inspection, the credit was agreed upon. I don't like this. I'm just backing out.
Mhm.
What Missy said is accurate. They said, we're keeping the deposit. It went into litigation. It's just a mess. Plus the attorney fees are involved and mostly damages. There has to be damages.
Yep.
It really, in other words, if it's on the market for a really short time, that'd be hard for them to.
Yes, right.
That's why you shouldn't put more than the 10%
Yeah,
down.
That's right.
And that's what I was told right in the beginning. Don't put more than 10% down,
Yeah.
because if there is a problem,
That's right.
you're not losing 20 or 30%. You're only losing
Yeah,
10.
good point.
And that's maybe why people are putting down less.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does it matter who holds the, what attorney's office holds it? Like if you keep it the buyer's attorney rather than the
Yeah.
seller's attorney?
Good question. It doesn't really matter. Both attorneys have to agree to release the escrow, so it doesn't matter. No, but psychologically, it's kind of a good thing.
Yeah,
know?
because once
It
upon a
seems-
time it was, the
Yeah.
sellers wanted in
You're
their
right.
attorneys because they feel safer, obviously.
Yeah.
And then the buyers are like, well, wait a minute.
I
But
know.
so if it doesn't matter. then
It doesn't really matter.
If it doesn't matter, would it be to our benefit to put it to the buyer's attorney if we have a buyer, and they might agree upon that, and it would be in our favor that it would be there?
I've been seeing,
Emotional.
Rather than
Yeah.
saying it goes to seller's attorney.
I've been seeing contracts lately where a lot of times on a sale, it's being held by the buyer's attorney.
I
So-
think it's better.
Either they don't have a trust account or they don't want the liability of a trust. And yesterday I had somebody say, oh, I'm real happy you're holding. I didn't tell them that. It just has to be agreed upon by both sides. But yeah, it's, you can get out of the contracts for any reason their attorney review, the mortgage is turned down, and serious inspection issues.
Serious, right.
It's gotta be serious,
Yes, not ones that you
Yeah.
make up, that they
Yeah.
elevate because,
You're right.
We should put it under the buyer's attorney. if we have a buyer.
Most of the time the seller will,
But we
attorney will
try
look
it,
at it.
we
You could
try.
try. You could try.
It would be more in our favor.
I've
Yeah.
been seeing that a decent amount for some reason.
I would, you know what, Phyllis, I wouldn't promise your client that.
Yeah,
I would let the attorneys handle it. You know what I'm saying? Because then if your client backs out for that reason, and it doesn't matter either way, if that seller decides to hold their thing, it's not
Yeah.
getting back to them. I wouldn't even bring that up as an issue. Like, I feel like then you're putting something in their minds. Hmm? We say the buyer's attorney, and then it's changed during attorney review.
Yeah.
We can't twist it, change.
No, exactly, yeah, but on the contract, we
you do
always put
say
buyer's.
buyer, okay.
Yes, we
Cool.
put buyer's attorney, or if we have our the
Oh,
attorney's
that's-
name, we put
yeah.
the attorney's
Oh,
name
that's true.
specifically.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So our contract
Yeah.
specifically states that we are putting it, because we're,
That's smart.
because the buyer's agent is the one who writes up the contract.
Yeah,
right? So
that's
you're
smart.
protecting your buyer and then the seller.
Sure.
Not true, Nancy?
It's changed. Every
No,
time
we're
it
saying it
goes-
gets changed in
Yeah.
attorney review.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the attorney.
But I'm
with the
seeing a
attorney.
number
That
of-
was buyer every time. it
You do?
goes to seller.
But it's funny, I have a number recently. I had one the other day and I went to the closing and I forgot that it went to me. It was an unusual, unfortunately I have my trust book with me, but yeah,
I've
But,
seen it, yeah.
I put
but
it-
you're right,
that's-
usually it's
I
changed.
add in the blank spot
They
So it
have to
doesn't say it
explain to our client that this
that you add in, buyer's attorney.
So they know that.
That's right. That's right.
Forget
A home inspection issue.
Yeah.
Do you guide them, or you just let it up to them?
Yeah.
Do you ever look at their home inspection?
Yeah, I look at it, it's funny, my paralegal likes to say, let them create a list, but I like to, if I'm asked especially, I always look at it, and especially the summary. Missy's husband, of course, is a home inspector, and I'm not just saying this, but he's fantastic, and the summaries there, because a lot of inspectors, I had one yesterday, 110 pages long, and they're gonna kill deals, So I do try to look at it. Sometimes I'll normally ask them for a list, but I'll review it with them. I mean, it's crazy. I had one yesterday. They went crazy over the microwave not working, the paint not being the right color. I mean, it's those things you can't cancel for. I had one recently where on the MLS, it said we have hardwood floors. The inspector didn't pull up a small piece of it in the closet, no hardwood floors, major litigation after the closing. So,
So you're saying just in one piece of the house, there wasn't a hardwood floor?
yeah, no, in the whole house, but if they had checked.
Yes, no one checked it.
Yeah.
They just assumed under the carpets there would be, understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's interesting in New York, they get the inspection first. The contract doesn't go forward until the inspection is, which is kind of an interesting thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that is very interesting.
Because you're right, a lot of times the client will object to pay a deposit until that inspection is. So. But anyway,
Be careful
Yeah.
when you park with floors, make sure they're.
it's no joke. You gotta make sure.
We've had suits where they
You have?
put down hardwood floors
Same
and they
thing,
weren't, they were pine floors.
same
And
thing.
afterwards they sued because they
Yeah.
were not hardwood.
Yeah, same thing. So I have flyers and business cards. I'll leave. Where should I leave them? Right here?
Yep, leave them there and I'll,
And,
I'll hand them out. I'll put them up here for today and then we'll put them where
Yeah.
everything. Yep.
And that's my cell phone, and you can call me anytime, questions, whatever. So.
Yep.
Careful with offer.
The only thing is, I have been giving it out to clients. I kid you not, I have one client that called me 10 times the other day. 4 times he asked me the same thing. But,
You're talking to realtors. There's nothing
You
you can
know
do to
it.
shock them. There's nothing
Yeah,
you
you
can say
guys
to
know,
shock
right?
them.
yeah, it's incredible.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
Missy?
never, no time, there's no work days or
No,
anything. It's
you're right.
anytime that they want to talk to
I
you.
know.
Yeah. Somebody's talking.
No, on the.
Oh, like what? Hello?
Oh, it's Mara.
Hey,
I
Mara.
just had something really interesting last week where we had a home inspection issue with the contract, and the attorney had put into the contract that the seller would not respond to home inspection requests until the deposits were in. And that was very helpful in, working through the contract. I'd never seen that before in any of, many different attorneys that I worked with. So that was just a really interesting way to ensure, that
Definitely.
That's a
that
good
money was
idea.
being held.
Yeah, I saw that one time within, that's a very smart, that's a good idea.
Yep,
Very
good
good.
thing to add. When you
Yeah.
represent the seller,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You're
Not
right.
when you represent the buyer.
not the other way around.
Understood. Yeah. No,
But Thank
that's-
you so much, and I'll leave these here.
Perfect.
And again, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joel. Glad to
Enjoy.
get to see you in
Yeah, speaking
person.
with you.
Yeah, last
Great.
time,
I
last
never
time.
met your husband yet. I got to meet him.
Oh, yeah.
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 Thank
me-
you so much, guys.
Last
Take care.
time, last time Joel was on, he was on Zoom, so we didn't
Yeah.
get to meet him in person. Yep.
I'll see you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Have a
Thanks,
good
Joel.
meeting.
Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Mara, for that. That was good. Yeah, so just to give you an idea, one of the situations I was speaking about, the home had a high tension tower behind it. So I think that the buyers got cold feet, right? And then decided after home inspection, they wanted $40,000 back for no reasons, just because they felt like they wanted a reduction in the price. That house ended up selling again, and these people did not release the deposit money. It ended up selling for 45,000 under what they had it for. So they're not getting that money back. Like, they're fighting for that money now. So I want everyone to just set up the expectation with their buyers now that things are changing, and that they need to understand that deposit money is it's within the contract.
But something like that, though, they saw it, they knew that it was there. So.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
It's not like it's a material defect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Yes. It wasn't something that was hidden, a latent defect that they couldn't see behind the wall. Right. Absolutely.
How does that work though, when you want to put your best foot forward, when you're, submitting an offer and your deposit isn't what everyone else's is? And obviously now, for good reason.
Well, I mean, so
possible
your
good reason.
client really has to take a look at everything and make it the decision, right? They have to understand that what they're seeing, like, take a look at the windows, they're older, understand that these things, let's take a look at the roof, like, visually, just get a little understanding of what the house is, instead of, because what happens is you go in, you have 10, 15, let's say you have a half hour. You do not see half the stuff that you're going to notice another time when you go back. You need to go back 5 times, and 5 times that client will say, oh, I never noticed that. Oh, I didn't even realize we had that. There's too much to take in. So they should be looking at, maybe have a checklist for your client. I just want you to take, I know you're looking at, your kids running around the house, or your dog running around the house, or where your parents going to come move into when, they're elderly, or whatever it is that's important to them. But you also have, because it's all emotional, right? It's all emotional at the time. So you have to look at the things, because once you go into contract, if your bid is the winning bid, you're basically taking this house as it is, unless there's something structural, environmental that we don't see. Just understand that you're taking this home basically in this condition. Okay, is that going to be okay with you?
You were asking a different question. I think she was saying, putting down less money, if they're not putting down.
But then she's
10%.
saying, how are you gonna win a bid?
It's
So,
better-
so you're
better
not,
win.
so they have, they're not gonna win, so they have to really understand what they're getting into. That's what I guess is what I'm trying to
But
say.
Missy, I'm not seeing that. I mean, are agents seeing that? Like I had a $800,000 listing and the winning bid had a deposit of like $20,000. And the agent said to me, I asked for more. And she said that this is what she's been doing even on $1 million houses. And I'm with my buyers, I've been putting lower deposits and nobody's saying a word across the board. I mean, is that what you guys are seeing as well? I'm doing 20,000 and not having any problem.
Yeah, I'm asking them to put a lot up front.
No, I
Yeah.
don't.
So
Because
I'm-
I think they just look for the ratio with the
I-
mortgage and what's going on.
I was just gonna say, are these conventional mortgages that your clients are getting? Okay, so it's conventional mortgage, and I think that's more important to a seller than how much they're putting down.
Yeah, money's gonna be up.
So-
Yeah, I know.
So do 20,000, if they can do 20 or make that the minimum, and if you're gonna be the winning bid, if that seller wants you for other reasons, they're gonna say, can you put more down? They're gonna come
That's
back.
what I always say. Let's try this. And if they ask for more, then we'll deal with it. But I don't want to give, have you tie up any more money when I represent a buyer than we need to.
Wait, I have a question. Are you talking about the first deposit or the entire thing together, the
Both.
20,000?
I've been writing up 1,000 and 19,000 and I've not had one agent question it.
Oh, okay. Also 20 in total.
20 in total.
Where we used to do 40, 50,
Right.
on expensive houses.
Nope.
Yeah. and the-
People still
and
do
the
1,000
initial
days.
payment.
The whole deposit is broken up, so you can either do nothing down right away, because a lot of people are doing that right now, and 20,000 on your second, or you can do 1,000 good faith and 19 second.
Well, I meant I never put anything down originally, but I mean, like all together deposit, like, what do they come in at closing? Do they do 20,000?
Well, if it's 20% or, obviously whatever their down payment is, their down
Okay.
payment is. But
Yeah,
for
so-
upfront
But
money,
after the 10 days, it's like 20,000.
right.
Yeah, only 20,000, and then,
That's what I meant.
Mortgage and then
Yeah.
the balance.
yeah, the 20,000, and then if it's 120 that they, that they're putting down, or 140 altogether, they're bringing 120 at the closing. But it's not being held in deposit, so it can't be held if they decide to back out and the seller wants to keep it, the 20,000.
You have to have a good listing agent that can explain it to the seller that this money is gonna be returned anyway.
Right.
To the people,
Right,
it doesn't
Yes.
matter what.
based on the
you
two
put down.
contingencies that are built into the contract.
Unless it's not, which is what we're talking about, right?
Right,
A
right.
lot of deposits are being held now.
Well, that's what
Yes.
you're talking about left.
That's why this is a good conversation to have, so everybody knows how to best advise their clients, whether you're a buyer or a seller, depending where you are. So, yeah,
Even I just had a relo with Serva and their contract read, it was like such a low percentage. It was a $700,000 house and they're holding 15,000. And that is their boilerplate in their contract. The deposit must be, I was like, okay. I
so
mean, wow.
I guess, again, with that moving forward the way it is, with sellers holding back, buyers are now moving forward, putting less down. Right? Does not mean that they're not, so again, it has nothing to do with conventional FHA, VA, the new healthcare hero loan that they have, that's 0%, anything like that. It's what they're actually putting down as a deposit, so. Thank you, thank you.
So what you could do if you're not putting down a big deposit for the home inspection, just put down that it's for structural, environmental and safety.
Right.
Yes,
And that holds a lot of weight, I think.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Which is what most people are doing anyway, waiving inspections, except for structural, environmental, and
Well, that's all
Mechanical.
inspection ever was supposed to be.
I know, but everybody got carried away. I know. Yes, yes.
Well, isn't that the truth, right, Carol?
Yeah, we must have that too.
John, don't get caught up in the weeds, buddy. Don't get caught up in, lost in the weeds, lost in the weeds.
And then keep in mind too as well, you mentioned some buyers can be eligible for a property inspection or appraisal waiver that could promote that when you that offer. Versus the client not sure whether or not they want to waive an appraisal or a portion of it, I'm able to determine on an offer, I'm strong deal, typically 20% down or more in certain markets, whether or not the borrower is eligible for a waiver. Lori and I had this one yesterday where we're going to offer stressing that at that price, they don't need an appraisal. That takes all the risk, all completely.
Right, and
So-
that was,
Sorry, real
Very
quick,
strong.
Laura, sorry.
Go on.
before I lose it. So buyer is willing to waive appraisal if,
You have two
If
options.
under-
wait, if
You have two options.
lender, no. stop. Okay,
Shut up,
She
I'm
lost her
trying,
thought.
so I'll get with Lori after this, because I'm in the same situation, so today I hope to write an offer, but that when I put that, email together, I want my verbiage to say what I needed to say. I'll get
yeah,
with
but
her.
you don't know that. Anthony's
So
the
that-
one
that's
who
what I'm
has to
trying to
find
explain. So
out. if the-
As a lender, we're able.
I
to
know,
do-
but
We're able to determine at pre-approval, okay, on certain deals, whether or not we as a lender will need a copy of an appraisal. It saves the borrower $500, right? And then upfront too as well, based on that specific offer, you can say to the seller, we don't need an appraisal. So now the whole negotiation of, is it gonna appraise or not gonna appraise or above market on the offer, completely gone.
And that's at pre-approval time,
I
you
can
said?
let you know that, not everybody can,
No, no, no.
right? So that's something that.
You,
Right,
Or
I'm
Anthony.
I'm able to determine, I'm able to determine that.
okay.
Hold on, I'm able to determine that, right? So that's the one piece of it that takes everybody out. Assuming they're not eligible for a waiver, right? Now we kind of get into what does a borrower want to do, right? Are they willing to kind of pick up that first $5,000, 20,000? Are they waiving into its entirety depending on the down payment? What they qualify for, how much reserve money they have? That's a different conversation. So the first part I can control easily as a yes or no, but it's not always to a certain amount. But then the other part we have to discuss with the clients on what they're comfortable.
And at that time, with the pre-approval, when you say there's no appraisal necessary, is that a given?
It's a given on unless something changes with the price. Let's say if you guys negotiate and you give them that $5,000, right? That I can lose it.
Gotcha,
I need to know.
gotcha.
Again, all the
But
more
the
reason why.
initial, you can go on.
Whatever that
anything
offer is,
over
if I
the-
determine it, unless
Have a
it
great
changes,
day.
we have to reconfirm that again, most important.
And at a time where everything's going
Thank you.
over asking and there's so much risk in things
Sure.
not appraised, that just has so much value.
Oh, huge.
It's like,
Wins
yeah.
deals all the time. Wins deals all the time. Because people are thinking about ways to get appraisal or portion of it. I'm able to say, guess what, we don't need an appraisal. Everything's off the table at that point. The risk is completely transferred from the seller to the buyer. The buyer was going in at a much higher price than what everybody was going at. But this buyer, probably because their down payment, right, their qualifications is eligible for the waiver. There might be another offer that's 10 or 15% down, maybe even higher.
right.
Well, they don't waiver. If you're a seller, I'm taking that offer because now all the risk is transferred out. But again, it's specific on location and typically buyer qualifications is a big piece of that. Where in certain markets, I had it where I put 30 and 40% down and I don't get it. So, it's just, a lot of the heavy, crazy markets that we're dealing with, the Denvilles, the Morris Township, the Plains, stuff like that, Parsippany, Randolph, especially, we're seeing them regularly. And it makes everything go faster, right? You get the commitment within a week, you know what I mean? So all that stuff, if you close, so much better.
Yeah, and let me tell you something, as a seller, when I was selling my condo, we had 12 offers out. 5 of them were cash offers. We took a mortgage because it was the highest offer and because they had a appraisal waiver. So to me, I didn't feel like there was really much of a risk. You know? Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Bottom line, you get the-
So again, it really goes far when, if you're up against cash buyers and not that the cash buyers were being ridiculous like you used to see in the past. I mean, they were all we were all up there.
When someone was just way over the top, a huge gap, you chase that.
Yes, yes. And that's the thing in the past. I mean, they were all close, but ended up going with one with an appraisal waiver that was already in, felt just as comfortable. So just as, just looking at it in your seller's eyes and the seller's view, how they're looking at things. So anyway, so we spoke about this. Be aware the buyer and seller environment is changing. Sales are not always letting the buyers Sellers are not always letting the buyer out of a deal anymore. Got to talk about that. Thought that was important. I don't know if you guys got this email, because I didn't. Lori sent it to me. I'm not invited apparently, but the joke's on them because I'm going. So they're doing a Founder's Day picnic. It's Wykert's 52nd anniversary, and it's going to be outside of the cafeteria, and they're going to have games and food and a picnic and a barbecue and everything. And so you just have to RSVP to corporate communications. They did have to do it a few years ago. Yes.
Usually we're not invited to them.
No, this, because they had an employee one a few weeks ago for just employees. This is something special they're doing. Yeah, well, you guys are only invited because you're at corporate headquarters. They don't invite all the other agents from the other offices typically to the employee one, but because you're here, they're like, you know, they'll let me extend it. But this is for everybody. So this is going out to all the offices, all the agents, and it's for the 52nd anniversary. And they're just trying to do little things like they did the movie night a few weeks ago to get, you know, everybody together, you know, while we're going through COVID and trying to figure out, you know, what's going on moving forward. So RSVP, this will be in the email. If you haven't gotten, in the slides, if you haven't gotten the email like I did, and all the information is here. It's August 25th. I wasn't invited. I was not invited. Just FYI. They're over me. They're over me.
Good morning,
I'm
everybody.
over me. Good morning.
So I just wanted to share this. I have access to see kind of what's happening in our My Wyvert system. So I just wanted to, I'm giving you the information, do with it what as you please, but I just want to give you this information that we have 79 out of 104 agents that have logged into My Wyvert in the past 30 days. 68 have imported contacts in the past 30 days. And I highlighted these two because they're very low numbers for our population. 25 have engaged with contacts in My Wyvert in the past 30 days. Very low number. You know, meet with me, please get with me, you know, even if it's on a Zoom call, just so you can, you know, see kind of the benefits of it. I really want to show you how great it is. It's really working for a lot of people. And then 20 out of 104 have created 10 or more contacts in the past 30 days. Very low number. Especially considering we have a lot of open houses, a lot of people are coming through. So those people should just be entered into My Wyvert, hands down, easily. And we only have 21 people have completed the Agent Success Plan. And this is since we adopted it October of 2019. It's very low. So just so you can, I can remind you, engaging with contacts in My Wyvert equals calls. Sorry, you can't see it. Calls, texts, emails using My Wyvert. But let me just mention, it doesn't include the campaigns. So the Wyvert Lead Network campaigns, those don't count. Search words and market reports do not count as engagements. Those are one-out. It's anything that you're physically doing on a regular basis with those leads. Questions on that? Again, just giving you the information. Please meet with me. I'm in the office, on Zoom, whenever you want. And there's some trainings that are coming up today. Missy and I are going to be going over how to set up your Google My Business page, which is a big thing.
Everybody should have one. Everybody.
Googling. Missy sent out an email yesterday with the Zoom link. Also, we'll do it in person. So come to that. And then tomorrow I will have my 1 o'clock training again. I'll go over the Agent Success Plan week 2, but any questions that you guys have, you know, feel free to just jump on and ask me. And then we have our next regional MTS workshop. It's next Thursday. Again, 9 o'clock and 12. It's the same topic for both times, whatever time works for you. I'll send out the link later today. And we're going to be doing a little bit more on buyers and how to keep buyers and sellers engaged using My Wyvert. So, you know, everybody has a lot of buyers. Maybe they fall off or whatever. We're going to give some tips on how to do that. And I actually I'm doing the majority of the presentation that week. So please come and support me. We really need it. And that's all I have, I think. Yep.
So the We Do It All guarantee, guys, there is a email campaign that you can easily do. So send out to your clients, send out to, you know, everybody in your contacts. You know, it's a really great program and people are taking advantage of it. Anthony.
Can somebody resend a link for getting the email signature page thing?
Yes, I can do that. I will resend it with my, after the meeting. Mhm.
Good morning, everybody. Just a little bit of an update on the market. The jobs report was better than expected with an addition of over 900,000 jobs in July. And the unemployment rate fell from 5.4 from 5.9, which is good. Unemployment is the key to consumer confidence, and the confident consumer is more likely to purchase or list a home. News put out upward pressure on interest rates at that time, in which the spread of the Delta variant was causing rates to fall. When there are two conflicting factors affecting rates, they can be more volatile. This week will feature readings on inflation. Inflation has been hot thus far in 2021, but it's showing some signs of abating as lumber prices and oils are easing. Interest rates kind of started to tick up on us towards the end of last week and earlier this week too as well. So we kind of keep an eye on that sort of thing.
What are they?
It depends. They're hovering in the high twos right now, give or take, but they kind of drop down a little bit. But some buyers, if you're not putting a ton down, your credit score is less than perfect. They're 3 1/8, so which is still insanely low. But when you tell people 2.875 and then -3, they kind of. We've been speaking about this a lot recently. We just talked about appraisal waivers and stuff too as well. We actually had this slide out many months ago, probably early in the pandemic, during the pandemic. But just more talking about appraisals in general, and that, just because a house doesn't appraise doesn't mean we're at an end all be all as far as qualifications. Just keep in mind, obviously, just as the example shows, if you have a buyer that's buying a house for $400,000, and let's say the property is listed for $380,000, so just like we were talking about before, going above market, typically they're putting 20% down. Let's say for that applicant, that's 80 grand. The mortgage is 320,000. The loan to value is 80%. And at that point, every buyer, when they're in that range, don't want to pay any private mortgage insurance. I spoke to a client yesterday. They were super adamant about not wanting any PMI whatsoever. So, with a mortgage payment of $1,350 just for the principal and interest, let's say the appraisal comes in short at $380,000, so there's a $20,000 shortfall there. You can do other options. The solution on the right-hand side of the screen is, keeping the payment at $80,000, right? That includes the down payment and everything. But what we're able to do is you're able to add some private mortgage insurance. You're able to go to loan to value from 80 to 84% loan to value, right? You are required to have some private mortgage insurance. That PMI increases the payment by $55 a month. However, though, the PMI only stays on for a couple of years, right? So the buyer is able to still proceed. They're not necessarily coming out of pocket with money, but they are required to carry private mortgage insurance, right? So that's on a monthly PMI. And then we have other options too as well, where there's not a mortgage insurance that's physically monthly, but they can get financed on the loan over a 30-year period. It just depends on which one's more cost effective for the customer, how long they plan on being there, et cetera. So a lot of times, with these situations, you're able to still proceed with the loan, and it's maybe only a $50 to $70 increase payment-wise, and it's not really coming out of pocket more with the buyer because we're able to finance, that part of the difference at that point. So just keep that in mind. I review these things with clients on a regular basis. Some folks are just not interested in PMI. That's not what their parents are telling them to do, right? They're not allowed to do it. They're not supposed to do it, but these options are there for our clients. So this is more designed if appraisals are not coming in, or if we're going really, really above ask, right? And we potentially might have an appraisal problem. I'm always stressing to the buyer, there is a plan B. If they're in their situation, there is. Not everybody there is, because depending on their qualifications and stuff too as well. So that's really, really important also. But just keep this in mind. PMI is an easy combative way to still keep the deal together, where they're not having to come up with an additional 20,000. We talked about this before as far as appraisal contingencies too as well. It's just really, really, really important right now in this market. Whatever you could do, whether it's a larger down payment, waiving a portion of the contingencies, confirming upfront pre-approval, if we can get a waiver on the appraisal, these things are all those deal kind of keepers, enable the secure deal too as well. I had an agent call me yesterday asking me to reach out to the selling side too as well, because we all kind of knew each other on a multiple bid situation. Again, just trying to do whatever we can to kind of put deals together. Guarantee we've been speaking about too as well. This is a great lead-in tool, great opportunity for buyers to take advantage of a possible program that we have that they could be eligible for. Every one of our pre-approved clients, from me personally, get this flyer with my information on it and the link and the explanation, and I tell them, please register to be eligible. And then also an application, they're getting the same exact information again. But it's the buyer's responsibility to get logged, registered. So the agents are doing it, as we talked about last week too as well. But it's their responsibility to do this stuff too. These-
So Anthony, you weren't here, we were talking about it, earlier, because our office is number 1 in the region, with 16 registered.
Right.
And Tabitha was asking, how does the agent know that their client registered?
So there's no database for them to access. I have a website that I can go in and review and see, but I mean, it's 9 miles long, so I mean, I have to just go in and see if the customer is. So if there's someone that they think that is registering, feel free to drop me a note and I can check.
Okay. And that client gets an email, right? I'm sorry.
I don't know if they don't have a conflict in registering.
Yeah.
I get an application, whether or not the person's eligible or not at that point, but they could lose eligibility or other processes as well. But I have a whole,
So why don't I go on today and I'll register myself? Just to see the
Oh,
process.
from that, gotcha.
And then I'll let everybody know what the process is.
I mean, I
I'll
can-
share with you. Me. I'm gonna be everything.
That's fair, Lori.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forget if they get like a conflict.
I'm gonna go on and see. Okay, so we have two, wait, go back for a minute. Don't let those people at home get a head start. So we have 2 questions today. Get ready, people at home, put it in the chat box. People here already have a piece of paper.
Where's this for?
So I think what we're gonna do now is, just because you guys enjoy it so much, every month we'll do a giveaway. So we'll do a giveaway at the beginning of the following month for the previous
Give
month.
it to Lang.
Yeah. Okay, for different marketing materials or gift cards.
Stay at home.
And don't forget to give your money for,
Yes.
in your card.
Really,
So,
no,
okay, now-
3 people.
come back, Aunt, come back. Now you can do it. So everybody ready? Wait, no, she's putting it up now.
Okay, which program is the lowest down payment possible? A, FHA, B, conforming conventional, C, jumbo conventional, or D, all the same requirement on down payment?
Hey,
Dennis is back.
alive.
We were worried about you, Dennis, the last few weeks. Dennis is back.
Hey,
He did not take fun. No, he's learned. He's probably changed it 15 times.
that was an easy question.
That was an easy.
Are you serious?
I can't even stand him. I can't.
For the minimum, remember, it's minimum.
All right, what's the answer?
Okay. The answer was, Lanny, tell everybody what the answer was.
I have B.
That's
conforming
the
conventional.
answer.
Isn't it 3% and FHA is 3.5?
Yeah. B,
Anthony?
conforming conventional. Anthony, Lonnie has a question for you. Go, Lonnie.
Isn't the conforming 3% and FHA 3.5?
That's correct.
I didn't hear him.
Yes, he said you are correct.
Oh, okay.
You are correct.
Sorry,
Yes.
Dennis.
You guys need to brush up
That's
on
right.
your different loan programs. Okay, yes,
So what is conforming conventional? How many percent?
3%, and FHA is 3.5%. Yep, and PMI. Okay, next question. Anthony gave up, so here I am. I'm only kidding. Okay, who holds the record for the most Olympic medals? A, Nadia Comaneci, I remember her. B, Mark Spitz. C, Michael Phelps. D, Usain Bolt. He's a
C.
runner. I know him.
C.
Google it.
Olympic medal.
I know the answer. I know the answer.
It's C. Michael Phelps.
You know that for a fact?
No.
All right. All right. Dennis Cassidy, tell us the answer.
C. Michael Phelps.
C, Michael Phelps.
Yes.
Yes, that's the correct answer, Michael
I
Phelps.
got that right too.
We know, yes. I just felt like I needed to give Dennis a little love.
Right here.
Guys, if you were smart, you just see what Lanny did. You could see on your computer. We can't here. You can look at the chat box. We can't, I can, but they can't. Okay, so we're gonna do a monthly giveaway, so make sure that you part of this, yep, hand it to me and I'll write everything down. And also, I will put your name in. So this week alone, I met with two prospective agents from two agents in our office. So please, if you meet with someone, you work with somebody, you want them, you think they'd be a big part, a nice part of our culture, please pass their information on to me, okay? You used to do that with Kim, and then you don't do it with me anymore. Cute Kim, remember Cute Kim that we all love? Okay, so she got, she got you. All right. So,
Nobody else wants to put in.
yeah, don't forget your dollar and a dream. So here's our absorption rates. Obviously, we see the, each week we're seeing the inventory slowly tick up, right? So we're Parsippany now we're up to 96, which is still very low for Parsippany, as we know, if you've been in the business for a long time. And our absorption rates are still very low. Morris Plains is up 3.5 a month this week, but I guarantee next week it'll drop down again. We see a blip like that in every town at least once every few months, so.
Morris Plains is having all those condos in it coming on the market that don't have foundations in the ground yet.
Yeah, exactly. So Denville, Randolph, Morris Township, Wooten Township, see Morris Township went up from 52 homes to 65 homes. So again, we're seeing that uptick that they're saying, we're gonna see the most inventory this fall that we're gonna see, that we've seen in the past year and that we're gonna see in the next 2 years. So this is where we're gonna see the most inventory, guys. So again, something to pass on to your clients. So new homes on the market. Oops, I went too fast. Kevin Gaffney has 137 Crestview Lane in Mount Arlington for $430.
Is that the seasons?
That season's fine, yes. Terry Dearness has 34 Crown View Court in Sparta for $1.199.
And you might want to mention Terry's husband broke his hip
Yes, so so Terry's husband fell
recently.
and broke his hip. So he's in rehab right now, right? Yeah, and he's been going through a lot lately. She's been going through a lot. I'm not sure how Terry is still doing the business she's doing and dealing with all the personal things she's dealing with. Because most of us, you know, typically what happens is when you have anything else come into your life, your business is the first thing to go, right? It just, you can't handle and juggle all these things. But Terry, as you know her, anyone who knows her is always positive, always. And she has so much going on. She has her son-in-law who's been very ill. She has her husband who she's been dealing with, and yet she's still always coming in here with a smile and running in and getting her work done. So again, someone to reach out to. So I will actually share Terry's address with you as well. So I'll share Terry's and Mary Francis's address today. Cheryl has 143 West Washington. She's getting pictures taken right now. And that's a 2-family in Washington Borough for $225. And 204 Coventry Court in Hampton for $450. Look what you get when you go further west for $450. Isn't that amazing? Honestly. Amazing. Brenda Lee team has 21 Kings Road in Rockaway Township for $499.9. Vin, who are now going to crown as the king of Mountain View Manor, has another listing here. I think he has another one coming up, an exclusive.
Yeah, this one's gone already.
This one's gone already, people.
Where is that?
In Mountain View Manor, Richard Mine Road. So he sent a mailing out with, you know, one of them getting over asking and got a lot of calls and got multiple listings. So again, make sure people know what's going on in their neighborhood. They love to know. And, you know, this may be a good time for them or a good conversation starter for you. Anyone else have any new listings, prices?
Yeah, I have a new listing.
Go on, Dennis, please.
I have 7 Gunston Court in Morris Plains. It's in Powder Mill. It's a 5-bedroom colonial, 3 full baths, bedroom on the first floor. It actually has lakefront. I know, hard to believe. Has lakefront and a dock. Has a brand new liner in your in-ground pool and heater. It's on for $649. I'm just getting the photos together.
So
And
you're
it's
saying there's a house,
exclusive.
you're saying there's a house in Morris Plains that is lakefront?
In Powder Mill.
We're in Powder Mill.
It's off of Cold Hill Road, way down. If you took, I'm not going to, I gotta get the directions. It's on Gunston. If you Google Gunston, 7 Gunston Court, it's on Lake Lenore.
Lake Lenore.
Yeah, part of it is. So this is an unusual, the home is kind of dated, okay, but it's still together. It's a big house and walkout basement, brand new, 2.89 acres,
I do, I love it.
Wow.
you know, so it's
Wow, but
exclusive.
that's a different kind of home, guys, for our
It's
area.
very different.
Yeah.
It's unusual. It's just, you go out to the backyard, it's just wilderness. Lots of property. And it's at the end of a cul-de-sac.
It's at the end of a cul-de-sac on a lake with a pool and wilderness in Morris Plains, guys. So you.
So it's gonna be coming on at $649. You're probably out of exclusive in a week. And it'll have
It's
it all.
actually, just, Missy, it's actually Parsippany, because it's Powder Mill. It's
Got it.
just the Morris Plains mailing address.
Yes, yeah. I thought everyone understood that. I'm sorry.
Missy, Debbie and I have a new listing that is coming out today in Belleville.
Yes.
It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo at 731 Belleville Avenue, Unit A22. It's 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. It has beautiful hardwood floors and it's on for $225.
It also has its own private laundry area.
Yeah, in the basement, it has the storage room, its own storage room. And in that storage room is a washer and dryer, your own.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Yeah, we've never seen that before.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great area too. That'll go quickly. Congratulations on that. All right, John LeBar is announcing his listing.
I have 2, one is a price improvement, 16 Summit, Morris Township. We just lowered that this morning, like $25,000. It's now being offered at $820. New listing is in Morris Plains, 4-bedroom split, and excellently wonderfully maintained by an original owner in the Holiday Inn section. But it is, it needs some cosmetic improvement. It's like walking into 1980. The kitchen is looks like a museum for 1959, but when it was originally built.
Guys, you haven't seen anything yet. So how much is that, John?
It'll be in the mid-5s.
Mid-5s. So his Morris Township one was reduced and he has a new one coming in Morris Plains. And he's being grasped by Nancy that you can't see. Anyone else?
I have a new listing. I'm putting it on the market just now. It's in East Hanover, on Overlook 54 Overlook Avenue in East Hanover near Lurker Park. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath ranch with framed out basement, walkout, fenced in yard. Putting it on for $529.
Wow.
Wow.
Sounds like a very good price for East Hanover.
Does it have a garage?
Does it
What's
have a
that?
garage?
No garage. As a 6-car driveway.
Very nice. Congrats on that. Sounds like a great one. Anybody else?
I have a condo in East Whippany, 66 Sunrise, 3-bedroom, 2.5 beds, $499. Fully updated, being put on in the next half hour.
Nice.
But who's counting?
You still have first dibs, guys. Okay, you have a half hour to get your clients there before anyone else gets there or gets online. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Peter. That's great. So, anybody else? Okay. Thank you guys for coming. Hopefully we'll see a lot of you on the next training, which is the Google page, because that's really, really important to have these days. It's better than putting your reviews on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. So you have to have that page and you have to have it set up properly so that you're getting the attraction, okay? So hopefully I'll see everybody soon. Thank you guys for attending. Now I can see you all. I couldn't see you. Dennis, we missed you.
I've been here. I missed you last week, right? No, no.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, I knew we missed you. Oh, I gotta pick the card.
For Ellen, she must it's for Lanny.
Oh, Lanny.
She must have been last week.
We'll put it in this week.
Oh, no, no, this is what she wants.
Oh, yes.
She didn't win.
Oh, she's putting it. Are you sure? Because
Lanny, did you
no.
leave money for this week or did you win last week?
Because it's
She left money. She left money.
You did. I don't know. You did.
Why are you putting everything? You're having technical difficulties here, people. Lori Kaplan is our winner. The parking queen.
That's our secret.
No pressure or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to owe people money.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh,
Both. We're doing it on in person and online, just like we do this.
Okay, got it. Oh, you're gonna do it in here?